Alright guys, welcome to part 2 and the final part of my Shout Factory and Scream Factory titles. So let's continue on to where we left off at. So, Screamers. This one I was really happy with, Cobra. Never thought this would ever get a special edition, but it did. My favorite Stallone film is Cobra. 10 to Midnight. Probably my second favorite Charles Bronson film behind Death Wish 3. $8mm with Nicolas Cage. Underrated movie. Starman by John Carpenter with Jeff Bridges and Karen Allen. This one right here, Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. One of the best comedies ever of all time. Speaking of Silent Night, Deadly Night, Part 2 with, of course, Eric Freeman. It's Garbage Day. Never would have thought this would ever get a special edition, but I'm glad it did. The Mangler. Underrated film right here. An underrated horror film that I always love. Based on the short novel by Stephen King. Now this one right here is one of my personal favorites of my collection that Scream Factory released, of course. The Critters films on Blu-ray. This really beautiful box set that includes all 4 films. Has a lot of special features on these. I mean, this thing is loaded with features. They all have brand new 2K scans. I mean, this is a wonderful box set to have. And speaking of, I was talking about Valentine, but Urban Legend. Director Jamie Blanks, before Valentine, did Urban Legend. The one good thing on this Scream Factory release is the hour-long documentary, or a little over an hour documentary, where they interview Jamie Blanks, Rebecca Gayheart, Tara Reid, Michael Rosenbaum, Robert Englund, Danielle Harris. I mean, they interview a lot of people in the documentary. Here's one of my personal favorite Scream Factory releases, Candyman. They did an excellent job on this one. And I love the new cover art with the Candyman right there. And of course, the theatrical poster itself. But, love this movie. Another personal favorite Scream Factory release, Creepshow. In this, like, hardcover. House on Haunted Hill, this is the remake from the 90s. The remake of the Vincent Price movie. Underrated remake, in my opinion. Fun horror film from the 90s here. Brain Scan with Edward Furlong, Frank Langella. We have 2 more left here, folks. We have 2 more. In the Mouth of Madness by John Carpenter, once again. A lot of John Carpenter films got released from Scream Factory, which I think is cool. But really great movie, underrated from the 90s here. Love this movie. And the last of my collection that I have here is American Gothic. Pretty underrated slasher right here, where about a bunch of these kids go to this island and they run into this weird family played by Yvonne DiCarlo from The Munsters and Rod Steiger, who was in a lot of stuff. Can't even tell you. You also have people like Michael J. Pollard. You have William Hootkins from Raiders of the Lost Ark. You also have people like Mark Lindsay Chapman from The Langoliers as one of the kids. But they start getting picked off one by one by this family. Pretty good. And there you have it, folks. That's all the Shout Factory and Scream Factory Blu-rays that I have. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys next time. You guys take care.